Hi, I'm Mimi, and this is Mimi and More. Welcome back to the channel. This week's video, we're going to talk about Mexico City, where we spent a week, the first week in February. And we got there from San Miguel de Allende, where we had spent the entire month of January. And if you're interested in knowing anything about San Miguel, I'll post some links down to the bottom, at the bottom of this video, of this, oh, spit it out, Mimi, of this information page. So, having gotten over all those flubs, which I'm not going to remove because it's just part of me, we loved Mexico City. Got there, as I said, through San Miguel. We took the bus. So Mexico City is about 200 miles from San Miguel. The bus ride was amazing. Great bus. As you can see, there are big comfy seats, and they have these very strange footrests, which I'm not going to lie, to take me a couple minutes to figure out, but they kind of pull forward and then you sit your back of your calves against them. So it was actually quite comfortable. The ride did take about 4 hours. I will tell you that Mexico City, the amount of traffic in Mexico City just blew us away. We are New York, New Jersey people, and we are very familiar with New York City traffic, especially at rush hour, but this was crazier. So just a little sidebar on that. But anyway, we went through we took the bus and we arrived in the northern bus terminal of Mexico City. So you're aware there are at least 2 that I know of bus terminals in Mexico City. So when you're choosing which bus you want to take, make sure you look at where it's going, because it may or may not be close to where you're ultimately heading. I did read online that you should get a taxi through the taxi kiosk. You can get an Uber there also, but you have to kind of walk a little bit off premise, they can't pick you up in the front of the bus station is what I'm saying. So we just opted for a taxi. That was fine. We went to the taxi kiosk. Here's another pro tip. We had the address of our Airbnb, and I knew that it was in Roma Norte, but when we went to the kiosk, we did give the person there the address, and evidently the avenue that we were staying on was went through half of Mexico. So she was very specific in wanting to know what area of the avenue. So then I had to step aside and pull up a map and get more precise about the location. I am also going to tell you that she did not speak any English. So as I may or may not have mentioned before, my husband is is a Spanish speaker. So it's very helpful because he can just sort of chime in when we can't communicate in English. And honestly, that's been very helpful on many occasions. But anyway, we finally got across where we were going. So they tell you the rate then, and then off you go. It did take us about 45 minutes to get to our Airbnb. Again, it wasn't that it was like super far away, but this was like a Saturday early afternoon, and there was just like a ton of traffic. I was surprised at how much traffic there was. So saying that, we arrived at our Airbnb. We had a great little studio with a full kitchen right on the edge of Roma Norte. We loved our Airbnb. Taking you, here's a little walkthrough as I'm recording this. So it was just the perfect amount of space. I knew that we weren't going to do a lot of cooking because we were only there for a week. So, it had a big kitchen. I was sorry I didn't really get to use it because it had this fantastic full oven, a 6-burner stove. But we did really, really love our Airbnb. And I will also put that link below in case you're ever going to Mexico City and you want to stay in the Roma Norte area. Now, I'm also putting up a map here so you can see we were kind of right on the edge of Roma Norte. And so we were fine. The area was safe. We had no issues with it. We were right on a main avenue. Actually, if you wanted to take the bus, it was literally, there was a bus like 3 blocks up one way or 3 blocks down another way. So we didn't take the bus, but very, very easy to get to should you want to take the bus. There's a great public transportation system in Mexico City, and so it was very easy to get around. But having said that, you can see from the map that we were south of what is like the Centro area. So that is where we did a cultural walking tour, and it was a good 45 minutes walk if you wanted to walk up to that Centro area where more of the historic places are, the cathedral, Bellas Artes. So just keep that in mind if you're staying in the Roma Norte or maybe even Condesa neighborhoods. We took an Airbnb. Usually we try to take not Airbnb. We took an Uber one way and then would walk back. Ubers are so unbelievably cheap in Mexico. So, I mean, if we took an Uber, it literally cost us $3 US. So the other areas are the area around Chapultepec Park. That is where there is the castle, and there's also the Anthropology Museum. It's also a beautiful Reforma area. And this Chapultepec Park is absolutely huge, double the size of Central Park in Manhattan. And so you can see from where we stayed, that was a bit of a ways off as well. But it'll just give you an idea of the area. Roma Norte and Condesa are where most first-time people stay, and we were very, very happy with our location. We would just walk at night, leave our little Airbnb, walk 10 minutes really, and find a great place for dinner. So that was great for us. We saw a lot while we were there. We fit in a lot in a week, or at least we attempted to. We did a walking tour. I was trying to do that the first or second day we arrived, so that was really nice. An historic walking tour around most of the central area. So we got sort of the lay of the land and a bit of the history of Mexico City, which is good. We like to know about where we're going, and from there we did a lot on our own. So we went to Bellas Artes one day for the day, and it's where I call it the Lincoln Center of Mexico City. It's where all the big performances are, the opera, the ballet. It's just a beautiful, beautiful property. It sits right next to an amazing park, which was huge. We were there on a Sunday, and there were so many people in the park. Like, it was just packed. But we did enjoy the walkthrough. I will sidebar here that Mexico City has an amazing amount of green space. Like, it just kind of blew us away how much green space is available to people. There are 22 million people, sidebar, that live in Mexico City, and it is, by land mass, it is huge. So we were very impressed by that. But anyway, we did some walking in the park. We planned a visit one day to the Anthropology Museum, but it was actually closed to the public because there was a delegates thing happening in the museum. So we did go back the next day. That was lovely. We spent the entire day there. It was just overwhelming, the amount of time that we could spend there and what we were able to see and learn of the Mayan culture and the Aztecs and just the whole progression of Mexican culture. So it was very, very interesting. These are two of my favorite pieces that I saw in the museums. Why I'm attracted to them, I don't know, but there you have it. We went to Chapultepec Castle, which we also really, really enjoyed. It is where, up until, I don't think not that long ago, I'm going to guess maybe 30 years, maybe it's 50. The president of Mexico did live in this quote unquote castle. I'm probably wrong on these dates, but don't fault me. But yeah, so we went through the castle. We love a good castle. So that was exciting to see. And then again, it brought us into the park. We really enjoyed our day doing all of these things outdoors. We also spent a day on the hop on, hop off bus, which we also like in a new city. It certainly takes you all around every area that you probably wouldn't otherwise cover by yourself or on foot. So it's just a good way to get not only the lay of the land, but just to see all the areas and learn a little bit about them. So we did like that. The weather was great while we were there. It was in the 70s during the day, maybe even up to the 80s, and then really nice at night. You know, you could put we carry these lightweight puffer jackets, and that was more than adequate. So yeah, I can't really say enough about Mexico City. Again, we were really sorry that we didn't have more time there, and I think it's a place that we would definitely want to come back to. One of the things that we definitely enjoyed on our visit was we did meet up with some YouTube friends and some people that we met through Slow Travel Forums. So we were able to meet up with them and have dinner, and that has just been, meeting up with people has just been great for me. So I really appreciate that, and it's just a nice time. But yeah, that's sort of Mexico City in a nutshell. I didn't even begin to crack the surface of all there is to do. Again, I think it was said that Mexico City has 130 museums, and they're only a couple of museums short. The city with the most museums is evidently London, and Mexico City is right behind that. So as you can see, you can spend a tremendous amount of time there, and there's so much to do and to see. We ended our trip with kind of a very touristy thing to do in Xochimilco, which they have these, I'm gonna call them like a water canoe for, I don't know, like these flat bottom boats, and they're very colorful, as you can see from the pictures. And you go out with a group. It was recommended by a fellow travel of ours, and he was like, don't book one for yourself. It's not as much fun. You've got to go with the group. And so we booked it through, Viator or something. And we went with a group of strangers, and there's a lot of tequila flowing, let me just say. Now, I am a very cheap date, so one shot of tequila, and I'm kind of like gone for the afternoon, and I kind of lost track at how many shots of tequila that I had, so that'll just let you know either the quality or the potency of the tequila that we were drinking. But it was just really a fun way to spend our last day. The weather was perfect. We had a delightful, tour guide, if you will. So it was quite a colorful way. It is south of Mexico City, so it was a good hour in an Airbnb. I mean, again, in an Uber to get there, but that was fine. And on the way back, we made some friends on the little boat, so we shared an Airbnb. Again, okay, I'm not even going to cut them out because it's funny at this point. We shared an Uber on the way back, so that was nice. And anyhow. So I won't drone on and on about it. This is just sort of a positive video about going to Mexico City and spending some time there. And for whatever you take out of it, I do thank you for tuning in. Stay with me for next week's video. We're going to talk about how Mexico City treated our budget while we were there, which may or may not have made us like it a little more or a little less, but stay tuned for that one next week and you'll find out. In the meantime, again, thank you for watching. If you like this video, please do give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing and hit that bell so you'll know when I'm posting new videos. And I do thank you for your time. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.